everyone, welcome back to your home practice. Today I'd like to dedicate the video to helping your knees. The knees are of course the hinge that helps us in every step, helps us to stand without low back pain, and also allows us to walk far, run far, get through our day better. I've worked with people now for forever, many years, and losing track, and I find that the shoulders and the knees are first to go. These are actually the two trickiest joints in the body, the knees and the shoulders. Hips are tricky too, but these are the trickiest. And what I find is there's a lack of moisture in the ligaments of the knees. Remember, the ligaments join bone to bone. They have less blood supply. Tendons are different. Tendons are the ends of muscle, and they attach to the bone. But they have attachment to muscle. Muscle has a lot of blood supply. So ligaments have a hard time already because they don't have nearly as much oxygen. They're not quite as red with infused with oxygenated red blood. So we want to make sure that we keep the ligaments stretching. So stretching the knees. The way you stretch the knees is by stretching your quads, your thigh muscles. So I'm going to show exercises to stretch the quads as well as movements to keep the knee joint mobile. Diet is also a huge aspect of knee health, and that's way beyond the scope of this video or my practice. But do look into a diet that is not robbing you, so to speak, of, like, that's not drying. Make sure you're drinking enough water, and then just find out anything that's good for increasing your alkaline in your diet, because that will help with keeping the joints moist. And then I just have to tell you one thing funny. One of my clients, Abe, who's a rheumatoid arthritis physician, MD, specializes in rheumatoid arthritis. I asked him one day, we were doing a private exercise session in his home, and I said, Abe, what do we do for crepitus in the knees? And he paused and he said, prayer? So, you know, the terrible big sounds that come into the knees happens because of drying of the ligaments. So we want to make sure the diet is helping. Sleep is a huge factor for knee health. It sounds so funny, but if there's a lack of sleep, that will really affect flexibility and your knees can hurt more. Diet, again, is the biggest factor outside of movement. So let's begin. We'll enjoy some movements and some stretches to help your knees so that you can stay as mobile as you can for the rest of your days. Okay, so beginning to help the knees, one of the best things to do, of course, is to bend the knees. Remember, the knees, all they do is bend and extend. So here's extension and here's bend. Extension and bend. We want to do movements that work those two different ways that the knee helps us move. And anything that you're bending the knees is going to strengthen the ligaments around the knees. The key for bending the knees, so we're just going to start off with a very partial squat, is the key is to keep the bum sitting back. So you're sitting in a chair, not like this though, you know, an arc. Kind of like, what was that, Carol Burnett, Mrs. Huygens, for those that are old enough to remember, where she'd reach in the filing cabinet and she'd have her bum up like this. You actually want to have the Mrs. Huygens hips and let your hips sit back. The knees stay behind the toe base, so you're not going forward again like this. So you keep back. The other thing is, as we begin with this warm-up of the partial squat, is I'll show you from the front. You want to keep the knees exactly tracking forward. You'll remember I emphasized this a lot in the running video, that you're keeping the knees right in line with the shins. Now notice that you're still pressing down through the base of the toes and also through the heels, so that you're not shifting your weight back or forward. You keep the weight evenly in through all four corners of the feet. Now I'm already getting a bit winded. These are the biggest muscle groups in the body, the bum and the thighs. So you want to keep them firing, contracting, blood supplied, so that's great grammar, so that you're really keeping the muscles that support the knees active, which is the bum, thighs, hamstrings, inner thighs. Which brings me to the next exercise. Inner thighs really make a difference for supporting the knees. So I'm going to show an exercise brilliant for the inner thighs. We're going to come right down to the floor, and you're going to come down sideline on your right side, and you can have your right arm under for a pillow. Now we take the top left knee up, The knee is facing forward and the shin is even with the knee, so you're not like this. You're not rotated up. Now, you keep the head down because that'll give you a nice line in through the side of the neck. And then you're going to rotate this knee up and you just get to where I want you to go. And you're going to see if you can lift this knee up to meet it. So you'll recognize this is kind of a reverse clamshell, that you're drawing the knee up and lowering down. We're working the inner thigh of this leg. Now, if this is very easy, which I think it might be, you can take the top leg out, use this hand for balance, take this leg out, and lift the leg up. So now we're getting more into a stronger, longer lever to work that inner thigh. It might be nasty on the bone out here, so if you need to put a folded pillow or a folded towel rather underneath there, because I can feel the outside of the femur pressing, then do that. So we're getting inner thigh here. This leg stays put. You're reaching this one up, and I'm coming up to meet it just in front and then down. So my top leg is reaching straight out, stays put, and this underside leg comes up. And then you come down. Okay, you could continue there. If you can go up to 90,000, that's great. Whatever you can do, and then come to the other side, and then just lying down. I'd love to be a wise guy, because who knows, maybe you can do way more repetitions, and that would be great. So we start, we have the knees stacked, and then you're lifting the knee up, and again, the ankle is at the same height as the knee, not higher. Or you straighten the underside leg, reach this heel up, anchor here, and then lift. And you get a reach. And you want to, keep that top right heel reaching out and come up and out with this leg. So here we go, inner thighs. Good. Now the heel in the air really reaches out, like you're pressing the brake with that foot, and that activates the inner thigh muscles. And lift. And lift. Okay, good. Now you bend the knees down, and then to stretch in through the IT band, iliotibial band, and in through the thighs, you would come onto your back, have your feet to the outside edges of the mat, and the knees are bent. Take the arms overhead with the palms to the ceiling, and then you take the left foot under if you can, and you're going to take the left hand to hold on to the foot, tuck the knee under, press the knee away to go right into the thigh stretch. And if this is too much, here we go. On the flat of the foot, press the knee away, not over, it'll go over. Press the knee away from you, and that will come right across, and you'll get that stretch right in through the top of the thigh is where you're going for the stretch, and you breathe in and out through the nose. The upper body is resting back. And again, just to repeat the first version, you may be able to grab the foot, tuck the toes under, press that knee away. Now we're getting a really strong stretch in through that thigh, in through the quad. And the other piece of this movement, the other way, is keep pulling the core down. So the abdomen pulls down and in, and that's that half a giggle, that pulling in, and that pulls the rib cage down, and that will help to anchor the top part of the hip flexor, pull it up and stretch up, and while that left knee presses away. And you breathe fully. And then you can take the arms back down alongside the body. The rule is to stretch for about a minute. This helps to really increase the flexibility. A minute is a good amount of time. So we've got the feet on the outside edges of the mat again. The feet are flat. You roll over to the right. Here again, you're going to either take, I'm going to rotate. There we go. Come around. You either take the foot under, because you can, and you press that knee away, and the arms come overhead. And as you press that knee away, you're really opening up in through the thigh here, or again, maybe on the flat of the foot, and press the knee away. So the knees are apart, so they're wide. You're pressing that right knee away from you, and that will come into the hip flexor as well, and the Celeste muscle, lower abs. And we're again returning to the beginning movement, taking the foot under, sending that right knee away to open up through the thigh. Really fantastic for stretching the quad muscle. Upper body letting go. And breath. Pressing that knee away. And then release the arms back down to the side of the body and gently lift, come back up. Good. And now hug the knees in really snugly so you're getting a full bend in the knees. Gently rock side to side. Really nice. And then you can roll over to your right side and just draw up to seated position. So those are some great exercises to do to help the thighs be more flexible and to give more strength in through the knees from the inner thigh strength as well. So that's just a quickie for the knees, and I am going to do another one for the knees, so stay tuned, and you can go back to the next video and add that one to your repertoire for your knee strength. Let me know if you have any questions. I can help with anything to do with knees. I've been working with knees for, goodness, for years, 30 something years, and enjoy your knees.